I would like to invite Ariana Danforth Gold and Stephen Barbour up to the podium to lead us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ariana and Stephen. We would like to have a moment of silence for the children of Ukraine, especially for those who weren't able to graduate this year. Thank you. You guys can sit down. Good evening, everyone. My name is Simon Marco, and I'm honored to be your Grand Master of Ceremonies tonight. I just want to thank Ms. Ravanola and Mrs. Kruger for giving me the opportunity to MC our 8th grade graduation. Someday I would like to be in the film industry, and this may be my beginning to hosting the Oscars. It is my privilege to invite Ms. Ravanola, Cornwall Consolidated School's one and only principal, to say a few opening remarks.
Thank you, Simon. And Ms. Kruger and I will be looking for our tickets to go to the Oscars with you, right? Good evening. It's my pleasure to welcome the CCS faculty, the Cornwall Board of Education, parents, siblings, friends, loved ones, and most importantly, our 19 8th grade graduates here. Thank you to everyone gathered here today to witness and celebrate this special occasion. Every one of you has made an impact on the graduates who sit here today in some way by your actions and your support. And what a year this has been, right?
Yeah.
Not quite the way we thought it would start, but what a great ending. How about that trip to Boston?
It was great. Yeah.
Yes, great, right? So we had some ups and downs, but despite that, despite the challenges, we persevered and we used those habits of mind to be the best we can every single day. I believe that our amazing 8th graders grew and learned a great deal about themselves and life and made some great memories this year. We have seen each of you step up as a leader one way or another this year. Some of you are part of the morning announcement team. Some of you were on student advisory team. A lot of you participated in our Region 1 sports teams, whether it was soccer, cross country, basketball, art garage, coding, baseball, track. A lot of you played in the band, singing in the chorus. Some of you ran sports clinics for our younger ones as leaders. Some of you volunteered after school in the after-school program. And last week, all of you presented your exploration projects in front of a live audience. So as you move on to the next chapter of your lives in high school, keep those habits of mind that we focus on in school, which helped us all to reflect on what it means to be a strong person, academically, socially, and emotionally. Perseverance, listening with understanding and empathy, managing impulsivity, thinking flexibly, remaining open to continuous learning, and my favorite, finding humor. Those are to name a few. Remember that learning is important, but it's also important to embrace mistakes and learn from them. Always ask questions. Advocate for yourselves respectfully. Be a caring person who looks out for others. CCS is a small community that does that every day. Bring that with you always so that you can be the change the world needs. You are our future, and we all believe in you to make the world a better place. So without further ado, Simon, our Master of Ceremonies, will move us along in our program today.
Thank you, Ms. Ravanola. You are too kind. Now, it is my pleasure to invite our first student speaker, Joseph Villa Arpia, our class basketball player, which is to be discussed, and our class model. He always looks good every day, and he'll share some words about his time at CCS.
For those who don't know me, my name is Joseph Villo. For those who do know me, you're welcome. Harry Sanders, graduation speech, 2019. That was 3 years ago. I still can't believe that. Thank you all for coming. I want to start by thanking all the staff members and everyone who has helped me out during the last 9 years here at CCS. I am beyond thankful. I spent 9 years of my life here in Cornwall, and I wouldn't have it any other way. My first year in Cornwall left an excellent impression on me when we had Miss Candy. Keep in mind, I had just turned 5 years old, had barely any experience around other kids, and knew basically no English. So for me to feel so welcome was a complete surprise. I made my first few friends like Graham and Everett Valencia, Simon Marco, Stephen Barbour, and Dylan Gonzalez. There was also my arch enemy, and still my arch enemy 9 years later, Alexandra West. Back then, things were different. Girls had cooties, boys didn't like the girls, and tag was the best game to ever exist. But everything was simple and fun, and we didn't have a single thing to worry about. Now we have to worry about having to wear deodorant every morning and not forgetting to bring our instruments to school. So the years passed, and they passed by fast. The years started to go by faster and faster, and I got older and older. Not taller, sadly, but mentally older. As years went by, I finally started to understand that showering and deodorant were important. Yeah, I'm still on there. But even better, reading books and having a good education mattered. I honestly wish I had learned this earlier, but I can start now from scratch with a new beginning. I would like to share a quote. We may live in an age of instant messaging, instant gratification, and Instagram, but there's no way to short-circuit the path to success. Tory Burch. I chose this quote not only because it's inspirational, but also because I relate to it the most. We live in a generation where most things are handed to us, but despite this, it's up to us to put in the work and force ourselves to do it. Whether it's sports-related or academic-related, this quote applies. CCS is where I fell in love with sports and where I'll always play for. I've had some of the best coaches, and I carry what they said with me into games and will continue to use their advice into high school. I can't believe I could say that now. CCS is where I also learned the importance of always putting in your best effort on the field, on the court, or in the classroom. The lessons I've learned and the ways I've grown while here at CCS have prepared me for all that I may encounter in the near future. I can't wait to start from the beginning and bring the lessons I've learned in a whole new, different environment. High school. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Great message for us graduates to bring with us to high school and beyond. Next, we have some awards to be presented. First, I'd like to invite Mr. Tim Naylor, representing the Veterans of Foreign Wars, post number 9856, to present the Citizenship Award.
Oops. You know, never mind. I forgot something.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be back to present this award. I was talking to some parents this morning, and I think this is going on like my 10th or 11th year. So I'm learning more. First thing I'd like to say is, I guess everybody knows by now that the VFW this year gave the Citizenship Award to the town to Patty Revesi. Well deserved. I'd also like to congratulate all the students here. Job well done. Very proud. So I think we kind of all know what citizenship is. Giving a little anywhere you can, whether it's with your town, your family, students, or your school. So this year's recipient does a little bit of all that. They're part of Park and Rec, soccer, basketball, been on CCS teams, basketball, skiing, band, 8th grade morning announcement team, part of that, has been involved in the CCS plays, Mary Poppins, Madagascar. Most importantly, helps with after-school programs. On top of that, is always willing to do something when another student or a teacher asks. There's never a who, a what, or a why. It's always, sure, I'll help. Hard to find these days. This recipient is also involved in karate. Not too long ago, one of the teachers whose mother's house burned down stepped up to the plate and helped raise money for someone who was out of a home. Speaks volumes. He also is involved with a program in New Milford that rescues homeless cats, dogs, all across Connecticut. Apparently he's also selling bracelets for a nonprofit towards film camp. And now we know why you heard his reference to maybe I'm going to be a film producer someday and go to the Oscars. So, with all that, the VFW Citizenship Award presented to the Cornwall Consolidated School graduate of 2022, Simon Michael Markham. The Berkshire VFW Post 9243. Congratulations, sir. All right, now get back to work.
Yep.
Sorry, Simon. I didn't mean to grab it.
I don't see any. Thank you, Mr. Netto, and congratulations to Simon. The award suits me well. I would now like to invite Miss Iris Herman, granddaughter of Dorothy Herman, who was the CCS secretary for 27 years, to come up here to present the next award, which is the Dorothy Herman Memorial Award.
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations, graduates. It's an honor to be here as a proud Board of Ed member watching CCS prosper and flourish. It's also a privilege to be here to present the Dottie Herman Award. My grandmother worked as the CCS secretary for just shy of 30 years. You okay, Mama? And during that time filled every niche that needed attention. She was the nurse, the disciplinarian, she did her clerical duties, and she kept everyone, students and staff, in line and organized. She was a tiny woman full of consideration, kindness, helpfulness, care, cheer, thoughtfulness, dependability, and infinitely generous of her time and herself. The student who most exemplifies these qualities is the yearly recipient of her award. In addition to these personal characteristics, this year's student sang in the 8th grade chorus. They excelled in art in the art garage and were nominated as class artists. Deep set into the CCS community, they were a team leader and also helped Mrs. Collins and Ms. Curley with after-school care program. They passed the interview for morning announcements and helped set up the newsroom. Their flair for animation led them to do a day in the life of the 8th grader video for explorations. Their creativity factor is so high that their Friday the 13th birthday became a murder mystery theme for the party. It's been fun to watch one of my high school friends' child grow up and become so much their own person. I need some lessons in hair dye. Is there any color they haven't owned yet? It's been incredible to see.
So congratulations, Dylan Gonzalez. This year's Dottie Herman Award is for you.
Thank you, Mrs. Herman, and congratulations to Dylan. You definitely have all those qualities mentioned and deserve the award. Next, Ms. Ravanola will return and announce the Outstanding Academic Achievement Award recipient.
So I have the honor of presenting this Outstanding Academic Achievement Award. This person is an upstanding student at our school and has been for many, many years. This award is given to the 8th grader with the highest academic achievement, and I tend to think this person probably has had it for the entire middle school career. Congratulations to Alexandra West.
Thank you, Ms. Ravanola. Congratulations to Andra. You work hard and definitely earned the Achievement Award. Our last award tonight is the Cornwall Board of Education Volunteer Award. I'd like to invite Ms. Emily Pryor, Cornwall Board of Education Chair, to announce the award recipient.
Thanks, Simon. It's such a pleasure to be here, and I'm so proud of Cornwall School in so many different ways, and especially I'm proud of this 8th grade class, so congrats to all of you. The Board of Education Volunteer Award usually goes to a member of the wider Cornwall School community, and I'm delighted to present it this year to a mother of an 8th grader who has gone above and beyond in support of this 8th grade class and Cornwall School. This person was always there when you asked, always stepped up, and attended all the different community events over the years. Her support of the teachers and staff at CCS can be seen in many ways. She would often cook a meal or bake a delicious treat for teachers during conferences or the musical. Her chocolate chip cookies apparently are like amazing. While all of this is great, her incredible dedication to the 8th grade class was seen when she and her son took on the tremendous task of organizing a t-shirt and sweatshirt fundraiser. The hours and dedication she and Stephen put into the fundraiser brought in over $7,000 in profit. It is my great pleasure to present this award to Valerie Barbour.
Thank you, Mr. Pryor. Congratulations to Valerie Barbour. Thank you for your volunteer time. Our next student speaker is Alexandra West. She was the first girl in our class until Dylan came along, and she'll now share some words about her experience at CCS.
Thank you, Simon. Good evening. I would first like to thank every single one of the staff. Whether you are one of our amazing teachers who have helped us through all 9 years here, or one of the other wonderful adults that make this school what it is. I would also like to thank my family, as well as all of the others here today. That includes all of the little siblings who are bored out of their minds. Believe me, I've been there. We appreciate you so much, even if we don't always show it in the best ways. I am one of the 6 of us up here today that has been here since day 1 of kindergarten. Most of what I remember from my first day was walking in and my dad having to stand behind the camera and make me laugh as Miss Carlson or Miss Candy took our pictures. My dad has always been able to make me laugh, even in the hardest and most nerve-wracking times, like right now. My mom, on the other hand, can always make me feel better when I need a hug. In preschool, I looked up to my sister, and I was so excited to move across to the big kids' school across where she went. If you know me, you know I hate change. So as excited as I was absolutely terrified. To make matters worse, in kindergarten, I was the only girl. Of course the boys thought I had cuties, while really they were the ones that had cuties. When Dylan came, as we say to this day, they saved my life. That was a good change. First grade was so much fun. Miss Burdick was one of my favorite teachers and made everything so enjoyable and amazing, from hatching chicks to learning about Africa. Yet another change, one of my best friends joined our class, and there was yet another person I could talk to and relate to more than anyone else. In second grade, Miss P was the reason I started to love math. Along with some of my other classmates, I really liked how challenging it was. Not everyone was a fan of how hard it was, but everyone loved math bingo. In third grade, I remember being so excited that we were going to have Miss Carlson again. One of my favorite memories was just before a concert when we got to meet Hadley, her granddaughter, for the first time. We'd heard so much about her, and we all gathered around to see her. In fourth grade, Miss Binkowski was the reason I loved and still love writing. We interviewed and wrote about Cornwall's senior citizens. We also went on field trips all around Cornwall to learn about its history. When we started, there were only 6 of us. But by the end of elementary school, we had 5 new classmates and had grown to a class of 11. In middle school, our class grew by 5 more boys, and we started to grow into our new identities and personalities. Not only were we now changing classes and walking the downstairs halls as people, we had changed. Some of us were more interested in sports, others were excited to finally participate in the school play. We all respected Miss Kruger, our homeroom teacher. And in my opinion, the most amazing math teacher I think I'll ever have. Some of us were excited about music and joined chorus, rewarded with a trip to competition with the other middle schoolers that ended with a day at Six Flags. Next year was the year everything changed. We started the year by growing by 1 more. Thank goodness we had the amazing production of Madagascar Jr. just before COVID hit. I remember being told we were bringing homework for 2 weeks and we'd probably be back right after that. That didn't happen. I went to class from the hammock on our porch for the rest of the year. Distance learning was a big change. Some liked it and made it to every class, others not so much. As I said before, I don't like change. So when we finally went back to school in 7th grade, I was excited, but also a little disappointed that our class was split. I was with some of my best friends, but I was separated from others. It was a tough year, but we all knew the teachers were doing their best to make our year as good as it could be. We didn't always cooperate or follow directions perfectly, but it was a hard year for everyone. Yet again, we grew by 2 more, making our class 19. Even though I wish we could have been together, it all turned out okay. Last but far from least, 8th grade. We'd finally made it. The year we had all waited for, which had felt so far away, but looking back, got here in the blink of an eye. Of course, in the beginning, we still wore masks and stayed distant, but we were mostly just happy to be back together. We had missed each other, and in our 8th grade year, we realized we didn't have forever together. This year was amazing. We all had so much fun, and the ending is so bittersweet I can't find words to express it. Our class trip to Boston was far from what I imagined us doing when I was in kindergarten, but it was one of the most exciting and wonderful experiences of my life. I would like to thank everyone who has donated to the walkathon throughout my 9 years of knocking on your door every fall to make our trip possible. Again, there is so much I could say about the people and the time I have spent over the last 9 years of my life here, but really the most important things I've learned are not how to write equations or what happened 200 years ago. It was how to deal with these big changes. I'm still working on this stuff. High school is a really scary word right now. I'm going to boarding school and I'm not going to see the same faces I've seen every day for the past 9 years. I know it's coming, and the best way I've found to deal with change is to accept it and enjoy as much of it as I can. The last thing I'll leave you with is thank you. To everyone that has helped us to where we are today, and to everyone up here, congratulations. You are all like family to me, and even though family might not like each other all the time, they always love each other. Congratulations to the class of 2022. I'll miss you.
Thank you, Alexandra. That was very touching. I would now like to invite Ms. Pryor back up here to introduce our guest speaker for tonight.
It's my great pleasure to introduce our guest graduation speaker, Marina Matsudara Mensch. Marina graduated from CCS in 2012, went on to Hussey, and then to Harvard, where she studied mechanical engineering. Marina now lives in Litchfield with her husband Dave and her newborn baby, Judah. Welcome back, Marina, and thank you for being with us.
Good evening, CCS graduates, parents, teachers, and siblings who are just here for the pizza truck. That's good. My name is Marina Mensch, but some of you know me as the Cornwall swim team coach for a little bit, or maybe as your tennis teacher, or your babysitter when you were younger. But if not, I'm the oldest sister of Manny, that tall kid who was here last year. I'm a little embarrassed to say that I thought this ceremony would be held in the gym where it used to be held, so parts of my speech might not make the most sense, but just bear with me. The last time I was standing on this stage, under this basketball hoop, staring out at my misspelled name on the basketball banner on that wall, I was a graduating 8th grader just like you guys. It was exactly 10 years ago that I was standing here, also giving a graduation speech, completely embarrassing myself because my cap kept sliding off my head as I was talking. I remember pulling it off halfway through my speech and making a ridiculous face while doing it. And while the audience may have been laughing at my jokes about learning how to walk up and down the stairs for hours with Mrs. Bukowski, or having to listen to Mr. Boucher's endless whistling of Christmas songs, I could only think about how awkward I must have looked with the lights reflecting off my red-rimmed glasses and spit just flying off my braces with every word I said. Let's put it this way. I was one insecure 8th grader. But you can't blame me. When I reflect on my 5 years as a student at CCS, I wish I could say it's where I bloomed as a student and confident individual. But those had to have been the most awkward and embarrassing years of my life. I'm sorry, Board of Ed members. I'm sure my job as a graduation speaker is to speak highly and fondly of my time at CCS. And don't get me wrong, I loved this school and did learn so much from the wonderful teachers here. But how do you shake the memory of going an entire day of school in 8th grade with an extra pair of underwear, yellow underwear, hanging out of your pants, and not knowing it until Keaton Collins pointed it at them and said, "What is that?" Or, how do you shake the memory of when an elastic from my braces randomly shot out of my mouth and landed in the center of Mr. Vince's classroom, and he stopped class and made me go pick it up in front of everyone, as if I intentionally shot that tiny rubber band out of my mouth. Don't worry, I've forgiven you since then, Mr. Vincent. Or there was that time in 3rd grade, right after I moved here from Japan, when I started crying in class during the money unit because I didn't know why the coins didn't have holes in the middle of them. Or when I had the brilliant idea to try curlers in my hair for the first time and showed up to school the next day with a literal afro. And even standing here in this gym, I'm reminded of when my 6th grade self was about to go up for a layup during a basketball game, right in front of my crush who was sitting on the stage. Then of course my glasses were dramatically knocked off and the ref had to stop the clock so I could go on all fours and blindly look for my glasses. Embarrassing, very embarrassing. But maybe I wouldn't have been so embarrassed in all these moments if I had been one with the popular kids or with the it crowd. But I was so not cool. I was so uncool that I was the only kid in my class who wasn't allowed to go on the field trip to see the Hunger Games movie. I was so uncool that when everyone else took out their iPhones during science class to use the calculator app, I pulled out my MP3 player from my pocket and pretended it had a calculator function. It didn't. So, as I was reflecting on all these awkward and embarrassing moments, I asked myself, what deep message can I give to these graduates out of this? Surely I could offer you more than just the assurance that if you thought you were uncool, As a middle schooler here, there was someone who was even more uncool than you, who walked through those same halls and yet made it in this world just fine. If that's what you gain from this, that's fine with me. But I thought about the things that were cool back then when I was in middle school, and how their status has changed since then. For instance, I was embarrassed about only owning flare jeans when everyone else started wearing skinny jeans. But now, it's like the wider the pant leg, the cooler the person. I longed to have real Uggs, but it seemed like once I finally got a pair, everyone had moved on. But now, Elle Fashion Magazine is calling them 2022's hottest shoe. I used to roll up my Bermuda shorts so they look somewhat like the short shorts that all the other girls are wearing, and yet Bermuda shorts are now a cool look apparently. If I had the same style now as I did in middle school, I would be such a fashion icon. Your parents can tell you this too. Trends come and go. What is considered cool today may become suddenly not cool, and vice versa. And not just for fashion, but gadgets, technology, phrases we say, and jobs. I'm sorry to break it to you, but if you felt like you were the top dog at CCS, high school is just another popularity contest and a whole new battlefield. And so is college. But only if you make it that. You can go into high school choosing to not play the popularity game. It's a fresh start for you. No one, except maybe the classmates sitting next to you, will really know what you were like in middle school, or how popular or unpopular you were. None of that really mattered. I was teaching at Hoosie this past year, so I saw firsthand what it's like to be a high schooler there today. I was a little saddened to see that in a school with so many wonderful and nice students, there are still kids sitting by themselves in the cafeteria. There are still students being made fun of or judged for their outfit choices or their hairstyles. Students came up to me boasting about who they just had a cat fight with in the hallway or what teacher they had just slapped or dissed. How did those things become cool? I don't tell you this to scare you or discourage you, but because I believe that you guys have the ability to change this. Wherever you end up after this, whether it's Hoosie or somewhere else, you actually have the power to determine what is cool or not. So here's my challenge to you. Instead of trying to make a certain kind of style cool, or phrases cool, or lifestyle is cool, I think you should make being kind cool. I think you should make being respectful to teachers cool. I just went there. What would it say to your buddies if you suddenly chose to sit with a student that was sitting by themselves at lunch? You don't know how much of a difference that could make in that student's life. And sometimes when no one else is doing it, it does take a little bit of bravery. But so does choosing to wear socks with sandals. One's just a little more impactful. If recent tragic events in our country tell us anything, it's that tomorrow is never promised. Life can be taken away so suddenly. And I don't know about you, but when I die, I don't want people to say about me, that girl had such a cool Instagram, or she always wore the best outfits. Instead, I hope they say that she loved people so well. She made everyone feel seen and welcomed. It took me until halfway through college to stop chasing the cool girl status and work on the nice girl status instead. So I wish I had learned this at your age. When I said I could only remember the embarrassing moments from my days at CCS, that wasn't totally true. Because I also remember Mrs. Binkowski giving me a huge hug when I got a phone call from my parents in the middle class that my little brother Manny had been born. I remember my whole class signing a banner for me to bring home for my mom, and I remember a bunch of families from Cornwall bringing us meals. I remember Senora Hanley and Mrs. S being eager to support me financially for my church mission trips. I remember Mrs. Brule taking great care of me when I had gotten a concussion. And I don't ever remember a teacher here treating me differently because of how uncool I was or because I looked different than the other students. You see, kindness leaves a mark. There's a well-known passage from the Bible that says, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." As you see, things, objects, they break. Apple will come out with the iPhone 14, iPhone 15. Fads will come and go. But love and kindness can have an eternal impact. You're growing up in a world, unfortunately, filled with so much hate and division. So I felt like this message was necessary to share with you guys more than any other message. Even our little haven of Cornwall isn't perfect, and needs you all to improve it, to make it better. I know many of you sitting here, and I know you are such sweet kids with great hearts, so I don't doubt that you will do just that. And I know this isn't your typical graduation speech that encourages you to go and do big things and pursue higher knowledge to make a difference in this world. you can do that as well. But hear it from someone who went to Harvard. Being kind to people and loving people has made more of a difference than anything else I've done. And with that, I want to tell you that I made little gift bags for you with little trinkets and toys that were cool when I was in middle school. I hope they serve as a little reminder that being kind to the people around you is so much cooler than anything else. Congratulations, class 2022, and thank you, CCS, for letting me have the honor to speak this evening.
Thank you, Mrs. Mine. We appreciate you coming and sharing the impact that CCS has had on your life as we move on to the next chapter in our lives. Now we have one last student speaker, Mia Rocco, one of our kindest people in our class, who often goes all day with a smile on her face. She came to CCS just last year, and she'll now share how her life has been impacted by CCS for the past 2 years, and pandemic no less.
Thank you, Simon. Good evening. I'm a relatively new student at CCS. I came here last year, which seems like a short amount of time. But in these 2 years, I have learned so much, not just academically, but about life and the world around me. Last year, no one had any idea what school would look like. The idea of coming to a new school, not knowing a single person, and during a pandemic just seemed intimidating. And at a lot of other schools it would be. But CCS is different from other schools. Here, everyone made an effort to make these past years as close to normal as we could get. And compared to many other schools, we were pretty normal. However, the most memorable thing about coming here was the kindness people showed. I will never forget how in such a difficult year, I was able to join a school and not just attend, but really feel like a part of it because of all the amazing people who were welcoming and helped me become involved with the school. It's inspiring to see how this community came together, and I'm so grateful that I get to be a part of it. I have learned so much here that as we all prepare to leave, I realized that what was only 2 years feels like so much longer. In these 2 years, I have made great friends, learned from amazing teachers, and had so many opportunities, from morning announcements team to learning how to ski. I have even gone skiing with my principal, which a lot of other students can't say. I've also learned so much about the world around me. As we all prepare to move forward and leave behind the familiar comforts of CCS, I know that the ideals from the quote of the week, like managing impulsivity, perseverance, and even finding humor, and the lessons of kindness, empathy, and optimism will stay with us for the rest of our lives. Thank you to everyone here today, especially my class. I am so grateful that I got to spend these past 2 years with you all. They have been the best of my life. I will always be thankful for all the people and opportunities CCS has provided. And I know I will miss the school, teachers and staff, and my class for a really long time.
Thank you, Mia, for sharing your positive CCS experience. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the pizza's, the diplomas. I want to invite Ms. Ravinola and Ms. Pryor up to the podium to present the graduates with their diplomas.
So, Ms. Pryor and I have the honor of presenting the diplomas. As each graduate is announced, in the back we have our staff, and they will be announcing some tributes to each one in their honor as they come up to get it. So you'll have hear a little something about what we think about all of you, which is wonderful, of course. And so please, if you could hold off your applause until after each tribute is read so you can hear it. Hopefully the microphone in the back is ready to go. All right, thumbs up. Our first graduate Stephen Michael Barbour.
You can see his positive attitude as he walks down the hall greeting others. He is creative and active. He bikes and hikes with his family. Stephen crochets with his mom and builds woodworking projects with his dad. Everyone from kindergarten through 8th grade knows what a pleasure it is to have Stephen in class. He has been a dynamic member of our school community and was involved in many extra activities like regional chorus, the 8th grade play, and the tech side of morning announcements. Stephen, you will be greatly missed.
Everett Clark Balancic.
Everett can be described as intelligent, courageous, outgoing, honest, and a leader in the classroom, in the music room, and on the soccer field. His ability to lead and coach shined through this year when he held soccer clinics for the 4th through 6th graders, and then decided to hold another soccer clinic for our youngest students in kindergarten through 3rd grade. Everett, your sense of humor and welcoming spirit will be missed here at CCS next year, but we know you are bound for great things in the future.
Henry Graham Balancic.
Graham was a little rascal in kindergarten, a prankster in 3rd grade, where I was fortunate enough to teach him in both grades. I'm sure that his smile will continue to get him out of some tight spots. He took advantage of a lot that CCS offered him. He was a key person in the tech portion of the 8th grade Friday morning live announcements. He participated in sports, band, chorus, plays, and he can even cook a fine Italian meal.
Hayden James Clark Bell.
Congratulations. Thank you. Hayden joined us at the beginning of his 5th grade year. He's the class mechanic. He's always got a project, he's always got a plan. He's often quoted saying, "I'm working on it." He's a snowboarder, a cross-country runner, baseball and hockey player. He loves things that goes fast. He loves trucks and his dog. He's almost as tall as Mia. Another quote Hayden's particular to is, "I'd rather try and fail than fail to try." Nice to meet you.
Henry Berry.
Henry is a great athlete and friend to all. His focus and drive is apparent whether he's challenging Mr. S on one-to-one basketball at recess, playing kickball, or playing in the regional soccer and basketball teams. To share his love of sports, Henry held basketball clinics for younger students for his Explorations project. Henry also participated in chorus and played a comedic role in our 8th grade play. Can't wait to watch you continue to shine on the field, on the court, and on the stage. Good luck next year at Hoosier.
Lily Mae Burkett.
Artistic and creative, Lily is a talented writer. Her sense of humor clearly comes through in her writing, which she willingly shares with enthusiasm and passion. Although quiet by nature, when Lily puts on a costume, she quickly transforms into her new character. Meemaw comes to mind. Lily, it's been a pleasure watching you grow from a timid 4th grader to a much more confident 8th grade graduate. Congratulations.
Colton Jesse Bodwell.
Colton Bodwell is a kind friend to everyone. He has been described by his teachers as dependable and reliable, which are traits that are often rare and always wonderful. In his spare time, he fundraises for the Cornwall's EMTs, and he also likes to cycle around the Cornwall area. Congratulations.
Colby Taylor Brown.
Colby is a very thoughtful and kind person who thrives in the arts. He is a creative music composer and visual artist storyteller, which was evident recently when he presented his unique Explorations project. Colby also sings in the school chorus and even performed in the 8th grade play. Congratulations, Colby.
Ariana Van Porthgall.
Ariana is determined, creative, charismatic, thoughtful, athletic, and persistent. She is always willing to step up to a challenge, both inside and outside the classroom. Like when she switched from clarinet to saxophone for jazz band, or when she created a book club for the 6th graders. Ariana, we will miss your smile in the hallways at CCS, and I will miss my good mornings each day. Stay strong in who you are, and continue to fight for what you believe in.
Oops. All right. Stephen Alexander Delgado Booney.
Called Boomster, or my mini manager, came to CCS in 3rd grade, where I had the privilege of being his first teacher. He was nervous and anxious, but soon he couldn't hide that amazing smile, and he started coming out of his shell. He is so friendly and good-natured that he's liked by everyone. Congratulations, Stephen.
Mia Rocco.
Mia is a young woman of many talents and interests, among them science, music, she's a very talented piano player, and reading. In particular, she's curious about world history and the inner workings of the United Nations and diplomacy. Her talent for Spanish and her desire to learn more languages will take her far. We're so happy that you are able to join us here at CCS, Mia, and wish you bonne chance at Uzi next year.
Jalissa Dylan Gonzalez.
Dylan joined the group at CCS halfway through kindergarten and has been adding a spark to the class ever since. Dylan has incredible instincts when it comes to working with our younger students, particularly in the after-school program. Using a very balanced manner of instilling what behavior is expected, they do a good job of keeping those kids in check. Everyone knows that Dylan is incredibly artistic, but did you know they were also part of our chorus and morning announcements team? Be proud of yourself, Dylan. Your words are powerful, and you are beautiful inside and out. I'll miss you.
Robert Carroll Happy.
Robbie's chosen superlative is class energy. This guy was involved in everything this year. Robbie was part of the morning announcements team, he was in the 8th grade play, he was on the soccer team, the basketball team, and a pitcher on the baseball team. He was a band and chorus and regional band. He created a terrific documentary about nuclear submarines and Connecticut's role in that. He'll be going to the gunnery next year. Either our school or their school will never be the same.
Simon Michael Marco.
Simon puts his all into everything he does, from pursuing his passion for filmmaking by creating a historical documentary for his Explorations project and participating on the morning announcements team, to being an integral member of band in the 8th grade play. No one is more deserving than Simon to receive the Citizenship Award, as he is a natural leader who is never afraid to be himself and gives back to his school and community in numerous ways. We will miss your booming "Good morning, CCS" next year, but know you are off to do great things at Uzi.
Gabriel Lewis Pohl.
Gabe is artistic and imaginative. He's polite and kind to everyone around him, and he's a hard worker. One example of his hard work that will be around long after he has moved on from CCS are the trails he added on around the school for his Explorations project. Gabe, your positive attitude and smile will be missed when you move on, but we wish you all the best in the future.
Caleb Drew Robles.
Caleb is a lively, outgoing, and happy member of CCS. He's always positive and his smile is infectious. He has a talent for dirt bike riding, and he may have inspired some of our other members of CCS to follow in his footsteps, which they will be able to do safely with what they have learned from his Explorations project presentations on dirt bike safety. Thank you for sharing your sense of humor and positive energy with everyone at CCS, and good luck in high school. We know you'll do great.
Finn William Scribner.
Finn is thoughtful, empathetic, loyal, honest, reflective, and has an impressive knowledge of anything and everything that has to do with history. He has explored voice acting, documented the history of the graduating class at CCS, was the third-place finisher at Connecticut History Day for his individual research paper entry, and has been a key part of our announcements team and tech team for live streams and videos. He also revealed himself to be a great actor by participating in our 8th grade play. You are on to great things, Finn. Best of luck at Lamova next year.
Joseph Villa RP.
Whether it is on the basketball court, soccer field, baseball field, or in chorus or band, Joseph approaches each activity with enthusiasm and a positive attitude. He is described as being artistic, friendly, determined, and focused. Joseph, these traits have helped you become a leader and a role model in your class this year. You've accomplished so much here at CCS, and this is just the beginning for you. There are so many opportunities for you to soar at Hoosic. I can't wait to watch you excel on both the athletic fields and the stage at Housatonic.
And last but never least, Alexandra West.
Andra is a student that is involved in many different aspects of CCS. To name all the activities she is involved in would completely take all of my allotted time. Some of the words used to describe Andra are artistic, creative, kind, mature, thoughtful, and a friend to everyone. She is organized and dependable in every activity that she participates in, and she goes the extra mile to make our school a better place. Andra is involved in every possible aspect of the music program and will be missed next year. However, Andra, I'm so excited for all of the opportunities you will have to learn and grow at Westover next year.
So, let's have a huge round of applause for our graduates. All right, now, the symbolism of the tassel that you have on your caps, right? Some believe the reason why you place the tassel on the right is because you've earned the right to graduate. Moving the tassel to the left after graduating is symbolic of crossing over to another stage in your life. So ready? 1, 2, 3, move those tassels. Before we conclude, I just want to say a few thank yous. There's a lot of people that put this on today. First of all, thank you to our class marshals, grade 7 students, Byron Bell and Olivia Peace. Thank you to Richard Griggs, who's come and done our videography right here. Thank you so much, Richard. Jacob Johnson is alumni of CCS in the back there, who's been live streaming for us. Thank you, Jacob. Jennifer Hill and Laura Munson and Ms. Kruger and many other staff helped put all this together with the balloons and everything else, so I want to make sure we acknowledge everybody. Thank you so much. And last, let's have a huge round of applause for our Grand Master of Ceremonies, Simon Marco. So Simon's going to come up and end the ceremony for us.
Congratulations, graduates. We did it. We also have a pizza truck here for you to enjoy some wonderful food with family and friends. The marshals will walk the graduates out onto the field, line up, and throw their caps in the air. It will be a great photo opportunity. Families are welcome to come meet up with their graduate there. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful night.
That's it from CCS.